If you don't know how to organize a DORA Training and Awareness program, then this video is for you. So I'll show you which articles from this EU cybersecurity regulation for financial entities prescribe training and awareness. I'll also explain you how to organize training for individuals and for groups of your employees. And I'll also show you how to choose the best topics for specific groups of employees in your company. And finally, what are the 3 options to deliver training and awareness throughout all of your organization. And I'll also show you how DORA Training and Awareness program looks like in Advisera's learning management system. So after you watch this video, you'll have a clear idea on how to comply with DORA's articles 5, 13 and some others, which specifically require you to organize training and awareness on continuous basis. Okay, let me show you now what are the DORA requirements for training and awareness. And by the way, you'll find the link to this full text of DORA in the description below. So there's this Article 5, which has this section 2G, which says that financial entities need to allocate and periodically review the appropriate budget to fulfill the financial entity's digital operational resilience needs in respect of, and then it says also relevant security awareness programs and digital operational resilience training. Okay, moving then further to Article 5, Paragraph 4. Members of the management body of the financial entity shall actively keep up to date with sufficient knowledge and skills to understand and assess ICT risk and its impact on the operations of the financial entity, including by following specific training on a regular basis. So as you can see, senior management is also emphasized here. When we go for Article 13, Learning and Evolving, you'll see this Paragraph 6. Financial entities shall develop ICT security awareness programs and digital operational resilience training as compulsory modules in their staff training schemes. These programs and training shall be applicable to all employees and to the senior management staff and shall have a level of complexity commensurate with the remit of their functions. Now this is also interesting here, the next sentence, where appropriate financial entities should also include ICT third-party service providers in their relevant training schemes. So in other words, the obligation is not only for the financial entities but also where appropriate for their ICT suppliers. And Article 30, it's about which contractual clauses financial entities need to insert with their suppliers, and there is this Paragraph 2, Item I. The conditions for the participation of ICT third-party service providers in the financial entities ICT service security awareness program and digital operational resilience training. So the point is this also has to be contractually defined, and these suppliers are obliged actually by these contracts to attend this kind of a training and awareness. In some cases you'll have to send only individual people to specific training. For example, you might send someone from your security department on how to handle specific types of incidents, or you might send your internal auditor for DORA internal auditor course to be able to perform this kind of a specific internal audit. But in most cases you will have to send groups of your employees to specific training programs. For example, you might send the members of the project team that handles DORA compliance for a training that covers the most important aspects of DORA. Whereas you will probably send all of your employees to learn about the essentials about DORA and also for cybersecurity awareness program. Now for these individual trainings, you'll probably send them to specific courses that already cover some specific areas. For example, about DORA, there are these internal auditor course, there is also foundations course, there is also lead implementer course, but also depending on technologies and processes that you have, you'll also have some other specific courses for individuals in your company. And sending people to these courses is rather easy, but it's much harder to organize training within your company for a group of people, especially for all of your employees. And to organize this internal training, you basically have to consider 3 things. The first one is which topics to choose for training and awareness. Second, matching these topics with specific groups of employees within your company. And third, defining through which channels are you going to deliver these training and awareness programs. Now, when defining which topics to cover, you simply have to go through 4 main chapters in DORA and then go article by article and see exactly which topics are the most relevant for your financial entity. And these 4 chapters are ICT risk management, ICT incident management, digital operational resilience testing, and handling third-party ICT risk. And when choosing topics for general cybersecurity awareness, the best approach is really to cover this cybersecurity hygiene, so some basic best practices on how to protect your digital assets. And this could include protecting your laptop or doing the backup, many other similar topics. And then you have to match these topics with specific groups of employees within your company, because what you do not want to happen is that you're pushing some topics towards employees that are not really relevant to them, because this would only cause a resistance from these employees towards security. For example, for senior management, you should pick topics around responsibilities of the senior management, requirements around governance, requirements about monitoring and measurement, review, and similar things. Whereas for, let's say, purchasing department or for people that are dealing with suppliers, you might include topics on how to assess the risks of potential suppliers, which kind of clauses to include in the agreements with these suppliers, also how to supervise if they're maintaining their level of security, and so on. For IT employees, you'll probably focus mostly on this CDR 2024-1774, which describes in details requirements around cybersecurity measures. When it comes to the decision on how to deliver the training, there are basically three options for doing this. The first option is to have this instructor-led classroom type course. This is basically where the employees have to go to this physical facility where the instructor delivers all the training. The second type of training is this instructor-led live online training, where the employees join the training through, let's say, Zoom or through Microsoft Teams, and where the instructor delivers the training in real time through this online method. And the third type of training and awareness is where you have these pre-recorded videos that are delivered to your employees through a learning management system. Now, each of these three approaches have advantages and disadvantages. For example, the advantage of this instructor-led classroom type training is that it can be very interactive, so the employees can ask lots of questions towards this instructor. If there is an in-depth topic that you have to cover, then probably this is a good solution. Of course, the disadvantage of this type of training is that it's very hard to organize all of the employees to come to the same physical place at the same time. The advantage of this instructor-led live online training is that it's easier to organize versus the classroom type training, but the disadvantage is that this interactivity is not easy to achieve through an online training. And also, of course, all the employees need to be in the same time zone to organize this kind of a training. Whereas for this third type of a training, pre-recorded videos through a learning management system, the biggest advantage is that it's the easiest to organize, because you don't need to have all the employees at the same time at the same place, and they can watch these videos at their own convenience. Of course, the biggest disadvantage is that they cannot ask questions to the instructor. Now, the decision of which channel to use really depends on a couple of factors. So if you have a very complex topic that needs a lot of interaction, then it's best to use these instructor-led trainings. Whereas if you have a large group of people with topics that do not require this in-depth discussion, then these pre-recorded videos through a learning management system are probably the best solution. I'll show you now an example on how to organize DORA Training and Awareness program through a learning management system. This is how this company training academy looks like. This is a learning management system from Advisera, and as you can see here, I already have a couple of training programs for ISO 27001, GDPR, for DORA, security awareness, and so on. Now we can go here to see the lessons library. So you'll see hundreds of lessons here, but let's filter them out by DORA. And as you can see here, all the DORA related specific lessons are displayed. So for example, when you want to see details of a particular lesson, you simply open it, you will see what are the relevant articles, and you can also see a preview here. Now, a much more interesting feature is this: when you set up a new training, you have this wizard which takes you through the whole process. So you select the framework, and then you will see a predefined training programs for specific groups of people. So let's say that you want a training and awareness program for mid-level management, and then you click continue, and then you select a country for which you want this training to be organized, because there are some country-specific videos as well. You select the language, and then you click continue, and then the system automatically suggests you the DORA-specific videos and cybersecurity awareness-specific videos for mid-level management, so for this particular target group. And as you can see here, there are many lessons here. Some of them are related to a general cybersecurity awareness, and some of them are specific for DORA. And again, you can see the references here to specific DORA articles and chapters, and when you click this button, you can see a preview. DORA regulation is Of course, you can remove any of these lessons. You can also rearrange so that the sequence of their delivery is different. And then when you move next, then you define how often you want the employees from your company to see them. So let's say that you want to see them not every day. This would probably be too much, but let's say every week. And then you want them to see this, let's say every Thursday. Okay. You define the start of the program, define how often you want to repeat this, and then click continue. And then you start adding your users to this particular particular program. So you can simply enter several email addresses here and basically invite all of them. And then you define what you want these employees to see. Do you want them to see only the videos or also the quizzes, or let's say quizzes and test questions? And basically then you activate the program. And then what will happen is this LMS will start sending invitations to all of these people according to the schedule, and you will have a very detailed reporting on who has attended which video, if they are late, what is their success in these quizzes and tests, and so on. Hope this was helpful, and to see for yourself how this company training academy works, you can click the link in the description below to open a free trial account, and you'll be able to test all the features and send the invitations to a group of your employees within your company during this free trial. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel not to miss any of my new videos, and I publish these videos every week. Thanks for watching.